Hi again. It's time to continue the story. Today we're going to read more of Mongoose, starting with chapter 2, and it begins. Now here they were on the roof again, letting their breaths and heartbeats catch up with them. Weasel unbuttoned his long coat and spread it like bat wings. Mongoose gaped in wonder. Wow. Weasel had folded 2 pillowcases in half and pinned them to the inside of his coat. They were bulging. It took him 10 minutes to lay it all out in neat rows on the roof. Twinkies, devil dogs, pies, donuts, cupcakes, coffee cakes. He pulled stuff out of his shirt, out of his pants. Okay, he beamed, your turn. Mongoose began laying out his loot. Weasel whistled and snatched up a Snickers. You did good, Dick Goose. Then Mongoose dipped into the bottom of his last pocket. He felt something that definitely was not candy. He pulled it out. It was a piece of paper, stiff, a card, blue. What's that? Said Weasel. Mongoose squinted. Don't know. He went to the edge of the roof where the light was best. It's a library card. Weasel screeched. Library card? What are you doing with a library card? Gimme! He snatched it away. Mongoose shrugged. I don't know, it ain't mine. Ain't nobody's now, said Weasel, and he flipped the card over the edge of the roof. Page break. The 2 best friends sat on the roof, eating their loot, tasting their futures. Weasel made an announcement. I'm going to quit school. When? Said Mongoose. Minute I'm 16. As soon as I wake up, I ain't even eating breakfast. I'm going right to the principal, walking up to his big old desk, and I'm pounding on it, and I'm saying, I quit. Then I'll go back to grade school, go to old Witch Pocopson's class, if she ain't in a boneyard by then. Then I'm going to open the door and turn around and moon her in front of the class. Mongoose cracked up, picturing it. Then I'm getting my driver's license. Then I'll eat breakfast. What kind of car are you getting? Said Mongoose. Firebird, baby. Convertible. Ragtop. Yeah, ragtop. Red with mag wheels. Pinstripes. Weasel jumped up. He careened around the roof. His hands gripped an imaginary steering wheel, working an imaginary stick shift. I'm getting a Jag, said Mongoose. Weasel squealed. A Jag? That's ugly! Mongoose shrugged. I don't think so. He had wanted a white Jaguar ever since he had seen one parked downtown. From that moment on, the hood ornament was a fixture in his mind. Silver and sleek, the leaping, uncoiling cat. White, he said. Weasel screeched. White? That's even uglier! Mongoose bit off a baby Ruth. He grinned. Beats your dinky Firebird. For the next 5 minutes, the 2 argued over who would beat whom in a car race. And after I wipe you off the road, said Weasel, know where I'm going? Where? Back to school. I'm going to park my red bird right out front there. You know. Mongoose yipped. Right next to the bike rack. Yeah. They both howled at that one. And I'm going to sit there with this big grin on my face, and all the little pupils will crowd around me and beg for a ride. And old Pocopson will come out in that ugly old junk heap of hers, and I'll be laughing. He laughed now, getting a head start. He turned to Mongoose. Where you going after I wipe you off the road? Mongoose had never thought about where he would go in his new Jaguar. In fact, he had never pictured himself driving it. He just pictured the car out there, like a cow in a pasture, waiting for him. I don't know, he said. Chapter 3. The next time they met on the roof, after school 2 days later, they had spray paint cans. They had bought the paint with money from selling their loot to friends and classmates. Each had 2 cans. One for practice and one for real. They were practicing on the surface of the roof. Weasel rose up from his knees and called, Hey Goose, come here, look! Mongoose came over. He studied the tall, fancy red letters of his pal's signature. He nodded. Looks good. Better than good, it's great. Except you can't spell your own name. Weasel stared down. Huh? It ain't W-E-E, it's W-E-A. And then it's an S, not a Z. Weasel glared at Mongoose. Yeah, how do you know? I don't know how I know, I just know, that's all. Why should I believe you? Mongoose shrugged. Don't believe me then. I don't. Don't. Mongoose returned to his own signature. Sometime later, he said, You're calling the dictionary a liar. Weasel's hand stopped. Huh? That's where all the right spellings are in the dictionary. You saw my name in the dictionary? No, but it's in there. Every word there is in there. I'm sorry, every word there is in there. Mongoose stated this firmly, but Weasel remained skeptical. He scowled accusingly at Mongoose. You got a dictionary? No, but I heard about him. I saw one in school once. You think I'm lying about your name? Go look in the dictionary, see if I'm lying. Weasel snorted, astonished at the notion. I ain't looking in no dictionary. He gazed lovingly at his name. They're going to have to change it, 'cause this is staying. A thin hiss told Weasel his practice can was empty. He tossed the dead can to the other side of the roof. Going home for dinner. See you tonight. Have your painting arm ready. He left. Mongoose's paint was blue. He was going to get white, like the Jag, but Weasel had said, what if you want to paint a white wall? You can't see it. So he picked blue. He worked on his M until he emptied the practice can. He kicked the can away and went to the edge of the roof. He could not recall ever being on the roof alone before. Below him lay the town, his world. And how sweet it was to look down on it, after a lifetime, baby, toddler, little kid, of looking up. He felt the full power of his years up here, the full power of himself. He drew in a long, deep breath. He felt as if his lungs could expand forever, as if he could inhale every cupful of air from the town and give it back only when he felt like it. Something below caught his eye. A small blue rectangle on the ground by the steps leading into the apartment house. It looked like the card Weasel had flipped overboard. A library card. He went down for dinner. Chapter 4. That night, after midnight, after the TV glow had faded from most windows, they met at the dumpster behind the Acme supermarket. They sprayed their names until the paint ran out. They did not fear being identified, for only they knew their new names. They wrote their names on dumpsters and street signs and steps and walls, on doors and sidewalks. Barely minutes had passed when Weasel held his spray can to his ear and shook it. Almost empty. One more. Mongoose shook his can. Me too. Weasel said, I'm climbing. Somebody wants to see me? They gotta look up. Mongoose watched as Weasel climbed to a roof and signed his name. W-E-E-Z-E-L on a chimney. Mongoose felt a thrill for his pal. It wasn't for what they were doing and the time of night. If it wasn't for what they were doing and the time of night, he would have let out a cheer. Himself, Mongoose chose a tree. He thought it would be neat to wrap his name around the trunk. He had just completed the third O when he suddenly stopped and drew back in fright. The dim glow from a nearby streetlight revealed that he had just painted over a huge insect. 3 times the size of his thumbnail, the bug was now totally blue, even its popped-out beady eyes. Its body was nearly round and appeared to be hard on the outside, like a shell. It was clinging to the tree bark. Mongoose found a stick and poked at it. It did not move. He poked again. It fell to the ground. Mongoose jumped back with a squeak. Weasel came over. What's going on? Mongoose pointed. Look! Weasel whistled. Man, that's a big bug. What'd you do, paint it? Yeah, said Mongoose. I think I killed it. Well, said Weasel, if you didn't. He stomped on the bug, making a faint cornflaky crackle. I did. He wound up and heaved his empty can. Let's go. They went home. Mongoose lived in a ground floor apartment. He had sneaked out through his and his brother's bedroom window. When he returned, he saw, moonlit on the sill, the blue card. He swiped it away. He climbed into his room, stripped to his underwear, and got into bed. Going to sleep, he thought about the painted bug, the ghostly blue eyes. It occurred to him at last to wonder what the bug was doing there in the first place. It was the beginning of December. It was cold. He hadn't seen another bug in months. As sleep came over him, the blue beady eyes were beginning to change. In the morning, the blue card was on the floor. Ooh, we're going to stop right there. Okay, we'll continue with Chapter 5 next time. Bye.